So losses and efficiency. So what are different types of losses that are available in the DC generator or DC machine is copper loss, iron loss, and mechanical loss. Irrespective of whether it is a generator or a motor, these three losses, that is copper loss, iron loss, and mechanical loss, are common. Okay, so first one is copper loss. First one is copper loss. So what is copper loss? It is nothing but it is the loss that is occurring because of the resistance present in the winding. So how many resistances are there in your DC machine? So there is, suppose say this is your armature. Armature will have resistance RA, okay, and your brushes will have resistance. Your field winding will have resistance, okay, and if there is any interpoles connected between north and south poles, so interpole winding will have some resistance, okay. Like that, there are so many resistances. So each will contribute copper loss. So Ia square Ra is the resistance in the armature circuit. ISH into square into RSH is the contribution of current, sorry, contribution of losses by the RSH. So RSH is the shunt field resistance. Okay, next is series field copper loss. If series winding is there, if there is any compound mission unte, then we'll have series field loss, copper loss. Interpoles unte interpole loss, because in the interpoles the same IA will flow. Okay, same IA will flow. Brush contact loss, IA square RB or 2 IA VB. Okay, and suppose if you are doing some compensating winding, okay, the to compensate the effect of armature reaction and to improve the commutation, you are using compensating winding. So if you are using compensating winding, that winding will also have resistance. And IS, because we are using for compensating winding, so IS square RC is the resistance drop, or sorry, copper loss in the compensating winding. Apart from all these, okay, what are the two main prominent losses which we consider is these two? Remaining all losses, when they are asked in the problem, you have to consider, or otherwise you have to consider only copper loss as the loss occurring in the armature resistance and shunt field resistance. These are the two important losses, and remaining losses you can consider whether it is asked in the problem or not. Okay, so based on the problem, you are going to select the remaining losses, and these two losses are very important for us. Next. So copper loss is over. Next one is iron loss. So while dealing with transformers, we have learned about iron loss or losses in the magnetic core. Okay, magnetic core. These are called iron losses. The losses that are occurring in the magnetic core. Okay, all magnetic losses are related to iron loss. So in iron losses, we have hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. So we know that hysteresis loss is formula and eddy current loss formula, and we have dealt these two losses in transformers, the same losses. What are the, how we explained hysteresis loss in transformer and eddy current loss in transformer? The same explanation holds for DC machine also. Okay, so iron losses in a DC machine accounts, okay, for the loss in the magnetic core. So the choice of magnetic core decides the hysteresis loss, and the choice of and the amount of lamination you are providing for the core will decide the eddy current loss. Suppose if it is very properly laminated core, then we are going to have very less eddy current loss. Okay, so these two losses accounts for iron loss. Or other name for iron loss is core loss. Next, mechanical loss, very, very important. In a transformer, since there is no moving parts, okay, there is no mechanical losses. When there is any moving or rotating parts, some power is required to overcome air friction of rotating armature. That is called windage loss. Inside the machine, there will be air because stator and rotor, okay, there is a air between stator and rotor. When we are about to start a machine, the armature winding or armature has to overcome the friction caused by the air. That we are calling it as a windage loss. That we are calling it as a windage loss. Friction at the bearings, because we are resting our armature on a shaft, and the shaft is rested on a, and shaft is mounted with the help of bearing, as if our fan is rotating with the help of bearing. Okay, ceiling fan. So ceiling fan lo bearings untayi kada, how it is rotating our ceiling fan, it is mounted with the help of bearings. Likewise, we are also mounting the shaft inside the stator of a DC machine with the help of bearings. So between the bearings and the shaft, there is some friction will be there. So we have to overcome that friction. So that friction, and between the brushes also there will be friction, brushes and the commutator. This entire friction is considered as friction loss. So windage loss and friction loss, these are the two losses that are going to occur in the DC machine, and these are termed as mechanical loss. So how many losses are there? Core loss, copper loss.
Voice cut.
Okay, so out of these three losses, what are constant losses and what are variable losses? Iron loss, that is mechanical loss, and shunt field copper loss. Shunt field copper loss are called constant loss. Very, very important. Shunt field copper loss and shunt field copper loss is a constant loss. Okay, shunt field copper loss is a constant loss because IA is not involved in this loss. IA is not involved in this loss. That's why it is constant loss. Okay. And ISH is constant. ISH is constant. Okay. So since ISH is constant, that's why it is called shunt field copper loss are called constant losses. So what are the variable losses? Armature copper loss, series field copper loss, interpole winding copper loss, and compensating winding copper loss. All the copper loss except shunt field copper loss are variable losses. మీకు ఏ ఇన్వాల్వ్ అయి ఉంటే అది variable loss because IA varies with load. IA varies with load. That's why all the losses that are involved in IA will be considered as variable losses. So these are the variable losses and these are the constant losses. Apart from these mechanical and copper or core losses, okay, we define some losses as stray mechanical loss. We call them as stray losses. So in a problem, if stray losses is given means, that means mechanical and iron losses are given. Okay, mechanical and iron losses are given. So in some problems, mechanical losses will be given separately, iron losses will be given separately. And in some problems, all the losses will be given separately. Or the total loss will be given, the total constant loss will be given. So only thing is that we have to calculate variable loss. We have to calculate variable loss. So these are the losses that are going to occur in the machine. So what are the losses that are going to occur in the machine? Copper loss, core loss, and mechanical loss. Okay. Now, very, very important topic next is the power flow. How power is flowing from input to output in a DC motor and a DC generator. Let us see. First, let us consider a DC generator. Let us consider a DC generator. So, for a generator, so let us consider this is the armature. This is the armature. Okay. So for this, what we are going to do is we are going to give input. We are going to give mechanical input to the generator, and you are going to get electrical output. You are going to get electrical output. Okay, this is the basic thing that is going to happen in a DC generator. So when you use mechanical input, some input is wasted as friction and windage loss. F and W stands for friction and windage. So friction and windage loss, and after that core loss and stray loss. Stray loss. Okay, stray loss. So these losses are called no load rotational losses. No load rotational losses. And these are also constant loss. These are part of the constant loss. So when input is given to the motor, these losses are common. These losses are common. So, and remaining power after these losses, so from the input some has been lost, and remaining is given to the armature, and it generates electromagnetic power, EA into IA, the power generated inside the generator, the power generated inside the generator. This power, out of this generated power, some power is wasted as ohmic loss, brush contact loss, series field loss, shunt field loss. Okay, shunt field loss. So major ohmic loss, drops, series field loss, and shunt field loss. These are the ohmic losses. These are the ohmic losses. So total ohmic, then total rotational losses. So from the input side you will have rotational losses. On the output side you will have ohmic losses, because mechanical power is being converted into electrical power. So this we can call it as electromechanical conversion device. Electromechanical conversion device. Very, very important point. We have to note it. Okay, electromechanical conversion device. Is transformer as a electromechanical conversion device? No. Okay, because there is no power that is being transferred from one point to another. In a transformer, there is no mechanical power. That's why it is not a electromechanical energy conversion device. But here we are converting mechanical energy to electrical energy. That's why you call it as a electromechanical conversion device. Okay, electromechanical conversion device. This is called power flow diagram. What it is called? Power flow diagram. This is called power flow diagram. Okay, power flow diagram in a DC generator. Am I clear? Shall I go for next slide? Naga Kavita. Naga Kavita, are you there? Babu Rao?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Shall I go for next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the power diagram for motor. For a motor, what you give as an input?
సార్
Electrical
మీ వాయిస్
energy.
బ్రేక్ అవుతున్నారు సార్.
సార్ ఫస్ట్ నుంచి బ్రేక్ అయితేనే ఉంది సార్ వాయిస్.
Okay. What will get as an output?
సార్ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతున్నారు సార్.
Yeah. Is my voice is clear now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we are giving electrical input and we are going to get mechanical output. So out of the electrical input that we are giving, Vt and IL, some input is lost as a I square R loss and series field loss, brush contact loss and armature loss. And remaining power EA into IA is transferred to mechanical energy. Is transferred to mechanical energy. And while transferred to mechanical energy, some energy is lost in the form of rotational losses. Some energy is lost as a stray load loss, no load loss, friction and windage loss, no load core loss and friction and windage loss. So this is called power flow diagram. This is called power flow diagram for a DC generator and DC motor. Now, efficiency. Now, efficiency. So we know that efficiency is nothing but the formula for efficiency is output power by input power. Okay, output power by input power. Or we can write it as power input is equal to power output plus variable losses plus constant losses. So efficiency can be written as output by input or so output power by output power by instead of input power you can write it as transformer lo మనం రాసినట్టే how you have written for transformer the same we can write but here cos theta will not come why we are dealing with DC power right in a DC power there won't be any power factor okay there is no any power factor so power output plus copper loss plus that means the losses because of variable loss plus iron loss, PI, iron loss. Okay, or constant loss. In this PI, the friction and windage loss can be added if known. If known, in the constant losses, we are going to add friction and windage losses. Okay. Now, variable loss is equal to IA square RA. Okay, IA square RA. And constant loss is equal to PC. Constant loss is equal to PC. And here you are right, copper loss, PCU, copper loss. Okay, so the power output is equal to power input ఏంటి input ఏంటి for suppose if you are dealing with DC generator if you are dealing with DC generator what is the power output VT into IL the terminal voltage into the terminal current gives output power what is input power input is mechanical so we can't write input power here unless until we know what is the prime mover input మనకి మెకానికల్ పవర్ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ టార్క్ P into omega తెలిస్తే కానీ మనం రాయలేం P ఇన్పుట్ ఓకే సో మనకు టార్క్ తెలియదు ఒమేగా తెలియదు కాబట్టి వాట్ యూఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు రైట్ ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్పుట్ యూఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు రైట్ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ అవుట్పుట్ సో అవుట్పుట్ ఈజ్ VT IL plus neglecting shunt field current actually IA is equal to IL plus what is IA? IA is nothing but IL plus ISH. The armature current is divided into two parts. One is going to load and another is going for your field winding. Suppose ISH is very small compared to IA, so if it is neglected, then IA is equal to IL. So instead of IA square, you will write IL square RA, IL square RA plus PCU, where PCU is nothing but your constant loss or core loss. Okay. So efficiency is equal to Vt into IL divided by Vt into IL plus IL square RA plus PC. Now, as if you derived the condition for maximum efficiency in a transformer, now let us derive the condition for maximum efficiency in a DC generator. So the efficiency of a DC generator is given as efficiency is equal to output plus variable loss plus constant loss, which you have written in the earlier slide. So V into IL divided by V into IL plus IL square RA plus PC. So divide by VIL. న్యూమరేటర్ని డినామినేటర్ని VILతో డివైడ్ చేయండి. సో VILతో డివైడ్ చేస్తే ఉంది VIL by VL1 plus IL RA by V plus PC into V into IL. Now the efficiency will maximum when denominator is minimum. Okay, denominator is minimum. సో డినామినేటర్ని మీరు ఏం చేస్తారంటే విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు ఐఎల్ డిరైవేట్ చేయండి అండ్ ఈక్వేట్ ఇట్ టు జీరో. సో మ్యాక్సిమం కానీ మినిమం కానీ మనకు కావాలంటే ఏం చేస్తాం, వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు derive the expression with respect to a variable quantity and we are going to equate it to 0. So derivate this denominator, okay, with respect to IL and equate it to 0. So derivation of 1 is 0, this is IL, so RA by V. So 1 by IL means 1 by IL square minus 1 by IL square. So RA by V minus PC by VIL square is equal to 0. And if you equate it to 0, you are going to get IL square RA is equal to PC. IL square RA is equal to PC. That means the copper loss is equal to constant loss. When the copper loss is equal to constant loss, then we are going to get maximum efficiency. So from this, what is IL? IL is equal to root of PC by RA. Root of PC by RA. So the line current at which the maximum efficiency of a DC machine is maximum. Okay, at what line current DC generator or a DC machine will give the maximum efficiency is IL is equal to root of PC by RA. Okay. Yesterday I have shared a link. Have you seen an YouTube link? Hello? Babu Rao?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen that link? In that I have solved one problem, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So actually I thought of showing that to you, to all of you in this class, but I have made it as a video and uploaded in YouTube. Okay, anyhow, like that we are going to solve so many problems in DC machines. Okay, so if time permits, after completing of this unit, okay, I will make you to solve some problems, okay, on DC machines. So the process which I have explained, that is, first step is to calculate IA, second step is to calculate EG, next based on your problem, what is given and what you have to find, we have to solve the different types of problems. But the process is same. Okay. Hope you have written this. Shall I go for next slide? So, torque developed in a DC motor. Torque developed in a DC motor. So, we are giving some input to the, let E is the electric field, that is because in the DC motor, and IA is the current from the DC motor. IA is the current from the DC motor, or current into the DC motor. So in a DC motor, how you are going to represent? Let me show. See here, in a DC motor, DC generator మన ఏం చేసాం, IA is in this direction, right? IA is in this direction and it will divert into, they are divided into two parts, that is IL and ISH. But in DC motor, we are supplying the electrical power. That means IL will be supplied and it is divided into IA and ISH. IA and ISH. That means this IA into EA, here we call it as EB. Okay. In the generator, we call it as EA, and here we call it as EB, where EB is called, EA and generated EMF, EB is called back EMF. EB is called back EMF. I will tell you about back EMF in the next sessions. Okay. So EB is called back EMF. Back EMF. Okay, back EMF. Why it is called back EMF, I am going to tell you in the next class. Okay, so for time being, you name it as a back EMF, EB. So EA is in generator and EB is in motor. So suppose instead of EB, I am writing E here, that's all. So EB into IA is the power you have given to the motor. So what is the power you have given to the motor? E into IA. And what is the power output from the motor? Torque. Okay. So electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy. So the formula for EMF induced in the winding is same for whether it is a motor or a generator. So phi Z and P by 60 into A. So this is, we know that E is equal to pi EMF equation. Z N pi Zn by P into 60 by A. Sorry, pi by Zn by 60 into P by A. Into P by A. So that we are substituting here. So phi Z and P by 60 into A into IA is equal to, what is omega? Omega is the angular speed. What is omega? Angular speed. So it is not an N. N is normal speed. Okay. That is angular speed. Omega is angular speed. Generally, when torque is multiplied with angular speed, you are going to get the power. Okay. Power is equal to, E is equal to omega into T. Omega into T. Omega into T. We have to convert the speed into angular speed and multiply with the torque to get the power, to get the mechanical equivalent of electrical power. Mechanical equivalent of electrical power. So 2 pi n by 60 into TE. 2 pi n is by 16. So what is TE? So here n will get cancelled. Okay, n will get cancelled. So T is equal to PZN. Sorry. So what is T? T is equal to, you send all these things to here, this side. Okay, this side, and you are going to get What you are going to get? If you send 60 here, 2 pi here, n here, then what you are going to get? You are going to get some constant into phi ia by 2 pi. Phi ia by 2 pi. You are going to get t is equal to k into phi ia by 2 pi, where k into pz by a. So pz by a into phi ia by 2a. If you send all these quantities to this side. Okay. So n will get cancelled. 60 60 will get cancelled. So t is equal to k into phi ia by 2 pi. ఓకే ఈ 2 పై కూడా కాన్స్టెంట్ అనుకుంటే టీ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు సమ్ k2 ఇంటూ పై ఇంటూ ఐఏ సో హోప్ యూ గాట్ ఇట్ సో ద టార్క్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు సమ్ కాన్స్టెంట్ ఇంటూ phi into IA. That means the torque developed in a machine depends upon the two quantities. One is the flux and another is the amount of current that is being given to the motor. Okay, the current supplied to the motor, that is IA, drawn from the supply, and the phi which is developed because of this flux. Okay, because of the ISH. Okay. So this is the expression for torque. T is equal to k into phi ia, k2, where k2 is equal to pz by 2 pi a, where k2 is equal to pz by 2 pi a. So T is proportional to phi into ia. We have to remember this because we are going to use this equation in the problems. Now, in the last class, we have represented DC generator, okay, with equations, and this is DC motor with equations. What is the difference is, in generator, the IA will be coming like this, and it is divided into ISH and IL. But here the what is the change in the equation is IA direction and IL direction is reversed. That's all. Okay. If you observe, for a DC generator, all the IA is in this direction, outward direction, but here inward direction. And these are the equations for these networks. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is separately excited DC motor. Okay, this is shunt motor, this is series motor, and this is your compound motor. And these are the equations. So please write these equations and draw the diagrams. Just let me know when you have completed drawing these 4 diagrams. So what is the difference that we are going to witness between DC generator and DC motor is the direction of the IA. Okay, in the equations also, if you reverse the direction of IA, then that is sufficient. From the last 2 weeks after mid-exam, what I am observing is your class strength or attendance is very, very poor. I don't know the reason why remaining people are not joining the class. As I told you, the class which we are listening for machines 1 and EMF is very, very important. Please ask your friends to join the class, listen. Okay. By listening the class, you are going to get at least 50% of your work will be done just by listening to the class. After that, your effort will be counted. So, what is your effort after the class will be your performance. Okay, will decide your performance. So, I want all of you to join the class. Don't miss the class. Please inform the students who are regularly absent for the classes. In this regard, I want to remind you one thing. Uh, these classes which you are going for online, okay, suppose when you come to the college, if suppose the situation comes very good and if offline classes starts, okay, what are the doubts you have, okay, you can come with your doubts. We are here to clarify your any type of doubts, okay. For time being, utilize your time in getting the concept and practicing the problems, as many problems as you can. So these are the four types of motors: separately excited, shunt, series, and compound. And after that, we are going to start characteristics of a DC motor. As if we learned characteristics of a DC generator, what is characteristics? It is a graph drawn between two quantities and keeping the remaining quantities constant. Likewise, in DC motor also, we are going to draw the characteristics between speed and IA. Okay, so in this we are going to draw three characteristics: speed and IA, torque and IA, and speed and torque. So how many characteristics we are going to draw three types of characteristics for all the four motors which you have mentioned. Okay, four motors which you have mentioned. So separate excited, shunt, series, and compound. And for these motors, we are going to draw the characteristics. Once the characteristics is drawn, then what you are going to do is we are going to decide the application for the each and every type of motor. So for which type this motor will be suited. So by drawing the characteristics, we are going to decide. So first is speed and current characteristics of a shunt motor. Let us see for shunt motors now. Speed and current. What is speed? What is current? Current is nothing but the current that is gone into this armature. From the line, some current is going into this armature. Okay, some current is going into this armature. And what is happening to that current in the armature? Some current is going into this field and creating the flux for you. And inside the flux, what you are having? A current carrying conductors. All the armature conductors will be now carrying current. And when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, what will happen? What will happen? Force is created. Force is created where F is equal to B into I into L. B into I into L. Why? What is B? B is the flux density and I is the current and L is the length of the mean length of the conductor. Now this I can write it as IA. I can write it as IA. That means the current which you are giving IA is responsible for creating some force. And this force is responsible for creating the required torque in a DC motor, and hence the motor starts rotating, and the motor starts rotating. Once the torque is developed, the motor starts rotating. Now, this torque, when it is rotating, speed develops. Okay, speed develops. That means when you give IA, we are getting speed. When you give IA, we are getting speed. So what is the relationship between this IA and speed? IA and speed. We know that E is equal to, because in the motor we have to term it as EB. EB is equal to 5 Zn by 16 to P by A. Okay, so EB is proportional to 5 into N. EB is proportional to 5 into N. Okay, now N is proportional to EB by 5. EB by 5. EB by 5. That means this phi is responsible because phi is because of the ISH. Phi is because of ISH. Okay. Now, since in a shunt motor or a shunt generator, ISH is constant, phi is constant, so N is directly proportional to EB. N is directly proportional to EB. Why N is proportional to EB only? We are taking phi as constant. In a DC machine, okay, ISH is constant, so phi is constant. So when phi is constant, then N is proportional to V into V minus IARA. V minus IARA. What is V? The terminal voltage which you are giving. What is IA? The current which you are sending. Okay, the current which you are sending. Okay, when IA is equal to 0, N is directly proportional to V. N is directly proportional to V. Okay, N is directly proportional to V. When IA starts increasing, what will happen? So if this term is increasing, then suppose say V is 1500 అనుకోండి. Okay, when IA is 0, N is proportional to 100. When IA starts increasing, suppose IA is 1 and RA is equal to 1. So now what will happen when IA is increased from 0 to 1? Okay, IA is 0 to 1. What will happen? This is 99. N is proportional to now 99. Now if IA is 2, then 98. When IA is 3, 97. When IA is 4, 96. That means speed is reducing. When IA is increasing, speed is reducing. That is represented in this graph. A graph is drawn between N and IA, and slowly increase the IA. Okay, slowly increase the IA value, and you will find actually we have to get a constant speed, right? A constant speed. But as IA increases, the speed is slightly reduced. Speed is slightly reduced. The line AC represents the characteristics of the shunt motor of speed and IA, N into IA characteristics. Ideal characteristics is AB, but real characteristics is AC. Real characteristics is AC. A slight drop in the speed is observed when IA is increasing, when the load is increasing. When IA will increase, suppose this motor shaft is like this, and suppose it is lifting some weight. It is lifting some weight. Okay, W1. Okay, W. If you increase this weight, what will happen? The amount of current drawn from the supply also increases, because in order to lift this extra weight, extra energy is required. That extra energy is drawn from the supply only. That extra energy is drawn from the supply only. That means this current, the extra current is drawn and extra weight is lifted. If you increase this weight more and more amount of IA will be required. That means IA, how you are increasing IA? By keeping the weight on the motor. By keeping the weight on the motor, what you are trying? You are trying to increase the IA value. Okay. How IA is increased? By putting the weight on the motor shaft. Motor shaft. Actually, what is the purpose of motor? It has to lift weight, or it has to drive something. Okay, it has to move something. Okay, like that. The application of motor is to lifting or moving. How it is lifting or moving? By using the shaft and belt. Shaft and belt. So when you keep the weight on the shaft, then the more amount of current is drawn from the supply. And when current is drawn, a slight drop in the speed is observed in the characteristics. It is real also. మీరు ఒక మోటార్ ఒక కాన్స్టెంట్ స్పీడ్తో తిరుగుతున్న మోటార్ మీద వెయిట్ వేస్తే యూ కెన్ ఇమీడియట్లీ అబ్జర్వ్ ఏ స్లైట్ డ్రాప్ ఇన్ ద స్పీడ్ ఏ స్లైట్ డ్రాప్ ఇన్ ద speed. So next characteristics T into IA. T into IA. So to draw the characteristics, what we are doing here, we are trying to get the relationship between the two quantities. Suppose N into IA అంటే N కి IA కి మధ్య relationship తీసుకొచ్చాను. Similarly, if I want to draw the characteristics between T and IA, torque and current, so what is the expression we have? T is proportional to phi into IA, as if we have derived here. Okay, as if we have derived here, T is proportional to phi into IA. T is proportional to phi into IA. So these are really linear relationship. If phi is constant, this is a linear relationship. There is a linear relationship between T and IA. అంతే కదా. So it is a straight line passing through origin. It is a straight line passing through origin because there is a linear relationship between It is a linear relationship between T and IA. Now, so this is very clear. When IA is increasing, torque is increasing in a same proportion. Now, torque and speed, torque and speed, torque and speed. So, ఇక్కడ IA place లో what you are going to do? Here IA is equal to T. IA is equal to T. Instead of IA, you keep T here because IA is proportional to T. IA is equal to proportional to 2. అంటే స్పీడ్ అండ్ ఐఏకి మధ్య ఎటువంటి క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్స్ ఉన్నాయో సేమ్ క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్స్ యూ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు గెట్ ఫర్ స్పీడ్ అండ్ టార్క్ బికాస్ టార్క్ ఈస్ ప్రపోర్షనల్ టు ఐఏ. సో ద సేమ్ ఐఏ యూ కెన్ యూజ్ హియర్. సో N is proportional to so what is that expression? N is proportional to VT minus IA RA. VT minus IA RA. Okay. Since torque is proportional to IA, I can write here torque. So when torque is increasing, speed reduces. When torque is increasing, speed reduces. So in order to increase the torque, you have to increase the current IA. Okay. So when torque is increasing, the speed decreases. This is the characteristics between speed and torque. The speed and torque characteristics is derived from the first two characteristics. Okay. First two characteristics use చేసిన ఈక్వేషన్స్ యూజ్ చేసి మనం ఏం చేస్తాం? We are going to derive the expression and thereby draw the graph. When the load torque increases, armature current increases, but speed decreases slightly. Thus, with the increase in the load or a torque, the speed decreases slightly as shown in the figure. So in this context, I would like to tell you one thing, that whenever you are writing something in your examination, okay, whatever the slides I am showing is just for your reference sake, not for your examination point of view. See here, in this slide, only I have explained about NT characteristics. T into A characteristics, there is no explanation. Okay, in the previous slide also, there is no explanation for, that means no written part in the slide. So I will make the slides as simple as possible because I want to speak something in the class. So don't copy the same slide in your examination. So I have found that whatever the theory written part I am keeping in the slide, the same written part you are presenting in the examinations. Not all of you. Some of you are writing the same in the examination. So I don't want you to write the same what is there in the slide in the examination. Okay. So you need to explain. while writing something in the examination. Suppose in the examination the question will be asked like this: explain about different characteristics of a DC motor. Then don't simply draw the three characteristics and leave it. Okay, you need to explain because it is asked to explain. In the question it is asked, it is not asked like this: draw the characteristics of DC motor. If that is the question, then you can draw and simply leave it in the answer script. But in the examination, if it is asked explain, derive, okay, so these words will be there in the question. So based on that you have to write. Okay, you have to write some write up. Don't simply leave it as it. Okay, in the slide lo నేను ఏది పెట్టా అదే అలాగే రాయకండి. Okay, slide is for only your reference. Okay, so you need to explain by your own words or from your textbook. Okay, so that is why I requested all of you to write the notes, prepare a notes for each and every topic which you are learning. Okay, so now shunt motor characteristics is over. So as I told you, we are going to draw three characteristics for each motor. So what are the three characteristics? N into Ia characteristic, torque and Ia characteristics, and speed and torque characteristics. Now series motor. So in a series motor, N is proportional to 1 by 5, and since phi is same as IL is same as IA is same as ISH. Okay, here in a series motor, IA is equal to IL is equal to ISH. So this phi is because of IA. This phi is because of IA. So N is indirectly proportional to IA. That's why there is a, this characteristics is very droop characteristics. Very droop characteristics. When IA is equal to 0, when IA is equal to 0, what is N? Infinity. Okay, when Ia is equal to 0, the characteristics is infinity. That means speed is infinity when Ia is equal to 0. When Ia will become 0? Under no load condition. Under no load condition, okay, Ia becomes 0 because it is a series motor. Okay, under no load condition, Ia becomes 0 and you are going to get very dangerously high speeds. Okay, high speeds. That is why here written safe speed. Okay, so that means you should not switch on the motor under no load condition. Remember this point, very, very important point. You should not switch on the motor, series motor, okay, DC series motor, especially under no load condition. DC మోటార్ని మీరు నో లోడ్లో కనుక స్విచ్ ఆన్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుంది? వెరీ డేంజరస్ స్పీడ్స్ వస్తాయి. ఒకేసారి ఇట్ విల్ ట్రై టు రొటేట్ at a very high speed. Okay, immediately the speed will pick up to very high speed. That is why you should not switch on the DC motor. Okay, especially series motor under no load condition. This is one of the precaution you have to take before starting a DC series motor. Why? Because N is becoming infinity. N is becoming infinity. After some time, okay, when Ia slowly increases and reaches to a level where the core gets saturated or the field gets saturated, then N is proportional to EB. So Vt minus Ia RSC. Vt minus Ia RSC. Suppose this drop is neglected, then N is proportional to V. N is proportional to V. Now a straight line, this dotted line is because when there is no resistance drop. If there is a resistance drop, then this is the characteristics. And this difference in these two characteristics is because of this drop, Ia into Ra plus Rsc. Okay, so what is happening when Ia is increasing? The speed is the speed decrease is very drastic. The speed decrease is very drastic. Okay, this is the characteristics for series motor. So what is the characteristics for shunt motor? N into IA, very small change in the speed from no load to, suppose it is no load current. Okay, no load current and full load. From no load to full load. Okay, very small change in the speed, but here very drastic change in the speed is observed. Okay, very drastic change in the speed is observed. Now, torque and IA characteristics. Torque and IA characteristics. See here, torque is proportional to phi into IA, but phi is proportional to IA. Phi is proportional to IA. Phi is proportional to IA. So instead of phi, I can write IA. So torque is proportional to IA square. Torque is proportional to IA square. Actually, I should get a straight line, but before saturation, I am going to get a curved line up to A, and after that, a straight line. After that, a straight line. Once the effect of phi is removed, we are going to get a linear relationship. That's why you are going to get a straight line. But up to point A, it is a non-linear relationship. Torque is proportional to Ia square. Okay, torque is proportional to Ia square. Now, so Ia is equal to root T. Ia square is equal to root T, or Ia is equal to root T. Ia is proportional to root T. That you substitute here. That you substitute here. That means 1 by root T. N is proportional to 1 by root T. That means, suppose if I want to get the characteristics between speed and torque, instead of Ia, you substitute root T here. And when torque is increasing, speed reducing. The replica of the same characteristics. Replica of the same characteristics. Okay. So these are the characteristics for series motor. These are the characteristics for series motor. Okay. So in the next class, we will see the characteristics for compound motor. Okay. In the next class, we are going to see the characteristics for compound motor.